Yeah, so a lot of these are going off, from last year. I mean, going into the beginning of college basketball season every year, I honestly go a lot of the ratings. I go off Ken Palm to start the season, but
Mhm.
also I do a lot of the eye test and from what they're returning from last year. So that's one thing to look out for. But that's why I have Kansas State ahead of them right now. But
I agree.
West Virginia, they won't back down from anybody. It's going to be the same gritty, defensive West Virginia team.
No, I love it. I love it. It's I think you definitely deserve to put them at number 3. I think they've earned it. Well, who do you have at number 4?
4, I have TCU. I think they'll be actually pretty good this year. I mean, they were pretty good last year as a surprise, but Jamie Dixon, I think he'll have this team ready for this year. They lost Jalen Fisher last year off that torn ACL, but he'll be 100% this year. And Alex Robinson, he's returning as well, and those two guys feed off each other, so they're both returning. I think TCU, I think they'll be better than last year, but I still have them in the middle of the pack, so I still got to see them. They still got to pass my eye test, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they lost Kenrick Williams. They do have 3 returning starters there, it looks like. And the recruiting isn't nearly as good as obviously other Big 12 teams, but like the coach there, man, look what he's done there with Jamie Dixon the last few years. It's just
he's really turned that program around. I remember, where did he come from? Was it Pitt? Where did he?
I think it was Pitt. Actually, I can check. It's not important, but yeah, Jamie Dixon. Ever since he got there, this is like a big team. I remember they were kind of snubbed a couple years back and missed the tournament. I think they won the NIT, and then they were in a tournament last year. But just like you said, having that huge,
I remember we talked about that. I think last year, around this time last year, about them in the NIT.
Yeah, he came from Pittsburgh, and he was 03 to 16 there, and then he got canned. But obviously, he's a great coach. And then he was NIT, and then all of a sudden he's turning this program around. I thought without that injury, they would have made a deeper run in the NCAA tournament too. So I agree with you there, my man.
Yeah, I remember TCU. Not too long ago was a laughingstock of a basketball school. But then. When he got there, like we were talking about, he really did turn that team around.
Yeah,
so they're poised for big things.
Well, cool. So that's kind of a sneaky pick right there. TCU. We'll see. We keep your eye on them. I wouldn't bet this team right away to make the tournament, but you're going to get great odds throughout the whole season. So, sometimes you even get your better odds right before the tournament starts because they see how damn good Duke is and how good Kentucky is, and it just boosts everyone else's odds up. So don't rush to the counter by any means. I wouldn't on TCU just yet. Let's move on. Who do you got next?
Yeah, number 5, I'm going to have to go with the Texas Longhorns. They're returning starters such as Kerwin Roach, Dylan Osakowski, and Andrew Jones. And he's the kid who beat leukemia last year, but he has a broken toe right now, but he'll be back in about a month. And Shaka Smart, I think he really needs to make a statement this year, so I'm looking for big things out of Texas as well.
Yeah, what a great story with the kid with leukemia, man. I was definitely touched by it last year, and real excited that he's back, and can't wait to see him ball out a little bit this year, right?
But the sad thing is, then he gets hurt with a broken toe, so he has to sit out a little bit. But no, that's bigger than basketball, beating leukemia. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun this year. He has a point to prove.
How long is he out for?
Last one I think like 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, so he'll be back by conference play. So that's
good. Oh yeah, definitely conference play. Definitely conference play.
Yeah, but that kid's definitely got the worst luck. Let's put it that way right now. But we'll be rooting for him when he gets back. Yeah, I only got Bamba, right? He's the one that left. Yeah, Mohamed Bamba. And
Bamba. Yeah, he got drafted. Top 5?
So. Yeah, it was top 8 or something, right around there. And he obviously was the big shot blocker there, but he had his faults as well. So you can't you definitely say it's going to super affect Texas here. You know, Texas is a great recruiting. They got, it looks like 4 4-star recruits, you know, Courtney Ramey, Jared Liddell, you know, a couple good guys there. And that's just Texas, man. Shaka Smart's got to put up or shut up here. 19-15 was not good enough. They did make the NCAA tournament because of how hard that Big 12 was, but they were one of those kind of bubble teams too, weren't they?
Yeah. I feel like it'll be kind of similar to last season, to be honest. I think they'll barely sneak into the tournament. But they actually did decent in the tournament. I remember they had to face a tough Nevada team, though, who ended up getting them out of the tournament. So, yeah,
Nevada, they're so tough again. They returned everybody and got a couple of like a 5-star recruit. I touched on that a little bit earlier, and so Nevada, you're not going to get great odds on them this year. But unfortunately, they don't have a hard schedule, so they might not lose, and those odds might not improve. But 12-1 right now is just not worth it to me. Let's move on. Who do you have at number 6?
I got Iowa State coming in at 6. They're always sneaky good. They have one of the toughest home environments in college basketball. When it comes to my handicapping, I always throw in an extra point or two. They did lose some production, but they're also they're returning Lindell Wigington and Cameron Laird, you know, who were great players last year. And there's also been a lot of grad transfers, you know, and they just got a kid from Virginia, Shyok. I don't know too much about him, but I've heard good things about him. So I'm looking for him to make an impact on that team.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, Iowa State is sneaky good, like you said, and don't bet against them when they're playing at home. It's the rule, right? It's just don't do it. If anything, you bet on them and hopefully sprinkle the money line because there's
they'll come out with another good. They'll find some point guard to dish it to Wigington and all those guys, and they'll be tough as always. I mean, Big 12, you know, conference is always tough in basketball.
Definitely, yeah. And some people have Oklahoma ahead of them. Who do you have next?
Next, this was a toss-up between OU and Texas Tech. But I did go with Texas Tech. They did lose a lot of talent from last year, but they're always tough. Somehow, you know, Chris Beard always has that team ready to go. But I don't think they'll be definitely not as good as last year. You know, they lost all those guys to the NBA. So it was really tough between them and OU. But I just went ahead and went with Texas Tech just because some of the good recruits they've been getting.
Yeah, that was, God, you know, you just reminded me how good the Big 12 was last year, man. It was just.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Which is how good every team is. Like, it was hard. Like, honestly, after Kansas, West Virginia, Kansas State, it's a toss-up.
Oh, yeah.
After this top 3.
No, it's going to be exciting to watch, too. So that leaves us Oklahoma here at number 8.
Well, actually, there's one guy for Texas Tech. I'm reading here. They have another grad transfer coming in from South Dakota. And he was averaging 19 last year with them. So that might help them out a lot.
Well, yeah, you know, you never know how those guys are going to turn out. Could be big, could be bad, you know, because, you know, someone that can average 19 over there might only be like an 8 or 9 point scorer here. So those always intrigue me. Of course, if you watched him play at South Dakota, you might know a little bit more, but you move up in class for sure when you're going from South Dakota to the Big 12. But let's see if that does anything. If Beard likes him, that's saying something, right? So let's see where they end up here in the whole mix. So that leaves Oklahoma. What are you thinking about them?
Yeah, I got OU now. Like I said, it was a toss-up between them two. Obviously, they have to replace Trey Young, who everybody should know. But I think they'll be pretty decent. You know, they have 2 seniors coming back in Christian James and Odoms, who are both going to be really good on the wing. And this sophomore kid, Brady Manick, he's going to look to make a lot of noise this year as well. So I think they'll be tough, but I'm just looking to see how they do without a true point guard. because it looks like they're still scrambling to try to find someone to replace Trae Young since they didn't worry about it last year.
Right. I mean, Trae Young, they probably didn't expect him to do this good and get drafted, right? So they're like, no plan. So that's definitely something to worry about. If you look in the top 50 recruiting teams, they're not even on there from what I can see. Texas Tech's number 33 with 2 4-star recruits. So Oklahoma might be a fade team this year, right? We'll see. Who you have next?
Last but not least, I have Oklahoma State. This is Coach Boynton's second full. This will be Coach Boynton's second full season with the Cowboys. They're really, really, really young, but I think they'll be tough. They will be tough. Like I said, everyone's tough, especially in conference play. When it comes to Big 12, they do have a good home crowd, but they do have some good freshmen coming in. But they are lacking, like all around talent because they did lose a lot of players last year. So I'm not looking for them to make any noise, to be honest. But they could catch a few good wins and, maybe try to mess up some teams' seasons at the end of conference play.
Right. And yeah, they were kind of that team last year outside looking in, but, had some big wins. Oklahoma State could be dangerous, right? I can't find too much information on them. I obviously didn't spend the time you did, but Oklahoma State. It's too bad for the Oklahoma that they have some of the worst teams here in the Big 12 here. So we'll see how that pans out, and who knows? This might be another one of those dog fights where 7-8 teams get in, right?
Yeah, definitely. I honestly think Big 12 will still get in 6, to be honest. At least five, but I think 6 they'll probably be able to get in.
Now we miss Baylor. Where do we throw them in at?
Sorry. We had them. I'm sorry. I had them after I had them before Oklahoma State.
Okay, so Oklahoma, Baylor, then Oklahoma State. I got you. Well, let's quick talk about Baylor then.
Yeah. Baylor, they'll be decent. Scott Drew always has a tough team. They always get those big towers down low, to play great defense. Malik Mason and Tristan Clark are coming back, so they know how to fit into that scheme. And Baylor, they're always tough. I could say that about every single one of these teams. They're always tough. They always got players ready to go. So it'll be interesting with them this year. It really will be. They definitely won't be as good as they have in recent years. And they definitely, I don't think they'll make the tournament. But you never know. But they could knock off some teams as well. So look for them to not make too much noise, but we'll see.
Yeah, Baylor, I don't see them ranked too high in the preseason rankings. They used to be that team that you could always bet on, right?
Every year, yeah. Like they definitely won't be as good as the last, 3-4 years, but it's just kind of a rebuilding year for them, I would say.
Right. Rebuilding year. I'm just going to quick to see where one of the more public ones are on Baylor. They have them in the top. Actually, they barely have them in the top 40, which ain't terrible. It's not bad. But it's probably around where you have them, number 7, number 8 ish.
Yeah. Like I said, honestly, after those top 3, it's so hard. I had such a tough time doing it this season as well as last season, especially with heading into the season with no eye test. So it's still early. I just go off these KenPom ratings and, returning starters, this and that. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's all you can go by. So, but right now we'll be looking to bet some spots. Eddie's going to be tweeting out some of his free picks. If you guys want to purchase any of his packages, please tweet him at Eddie Has Winners. He'll give you some winners for the weekend. Anything else, Eddie?
No, man. I'm just looking forward to having a great season with everybody. Glad it's back.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, hey, if you have any questions, please tweet Eddie or tweet us at The Odds Breakers. Have a great week and enjoy